I'm Joan Lasalle, storyteller. I've always loved stories. Ever since I was a child, I used to listen to stories from my grandparents. On moonlit nights in the country, we used to sit outside and listen to the stories. So from that, my love for stories caused me to start writing short stories. One of my stories is about gravel. Now, you think that, what do you write about gravel? But I developed a story from thinking back to a place I had visited and where there was a flower garden with a rose bush and little pieces of gravel underneath. It had rained and some of the dirt had washed off the gravel, and there was a special gravel that was shiny. When the sun shone on the gravel, it would be very brilliant and shiny. So the other pieces of gravel were wondering, why is this one shiny? So one day, this little girl was playing outside in the flower garden, and she found this piece of gravel that was shiny because the sun was shining on it. And she took it inside to her mom and said, "Look, Mom, it's shiny." And the mom at first thought that it was a rhinestone from the little child's Halloween costume. And so she was about to discard it, and then she took a second look and saw it was the diamond that from a ring that she had lost 2 years ago when she was going to the hospital to give birth to the little girl. So it's a very interesting story, and that shows that you can write about anything, whatever it is, as long as you give it life. My second story is about the bottle cap. Now you wonder, why would I write about a bottle cap? This is something you open a bottle and you discard the cap. But think of the cap. The cap and the bottle are a team. They have been together for a long time. Then you open the bottle and the cap comes off. Now, that cap has feelings. They have been together for so long. And now the bottle is being used for whatever purpose, and the cap has no use. So the cap is thinking, what am I? We've been together so long, and now I'm nothing but something that they would just throw away. I feel so bad because I no longer have a purpose. I'm not important. Maybe some kid will take me and throw me in a lake or in some water, or somebody might take a hammer and knock me into something else. But that would mean I have another purpose, because the bottle caps are used to make furniture in Africa. In the markets you see tabletops, baskets, bags, dolls made of different types of bottle caps, different color bottle caps, and they look so beautiful, and they are sold in the markets. And they have such, items all made from bottle cap in the hotel, at the Intercontinental Hotel in Lusaka. They have bottle cap from furniture in West Africa. They also have in East Africa, and I've seen it even somewhere in New York. So it shows that everything has a purpose and everything is important. And that's the end of that story. This story is about a real-life experience I had when I worked at UNICEF in Pakistan. One night I got home and I got up, went upstairs, and immediately I sensed like something is in the room. And I looked around, I didn't know what it was. So I checked, double checked before I went to bed. So I got into bed, all the while still thinking that something is in the room, and I went under the covers. And when I went under the covers, after about maybe 2 seconds, I felt something rough on my leg. And I jumped up and I threw the covers off And there it was, a huge centipede. And I was so scared, and I ran and got a broom, and I started whacking it, whacked it, and until it stopped, it was still, moving, but not, definitely injured. And I, eventually, took it outside, put it in the garbage. But it was the scariest feeling of my life. A sound came out of my body. I don't know where that sound came out, but it was a scary sound. It was deep and ugly, like what you would hear in a horror movie. And that was one. But the other one was one day I was putting on my clothes. I was late for work, and I ran into the closet, pulled out a shirt, and I put my arm into it, and I felt something rough again. This time it was a house lizard. And the noise that came out of me was impossible. I cannot repeat it. And I dropped the shirt, and I went, I said, okay, I'm going to wear the same shirt I wore yesterday. And I eventually when I went into the closet to look for it, it disappeared. So these things are very fast. So those two experiences I had with strange creatures. And after that, I decided to move to another house. And I moved to another area.